Do I need to push?
Welcome back, folks, to OHN Bird Arena. We are back for another year of Bobcat hockey, the 64th year in this program's storied history. It's the green and white game, and we are just about underway. Tonight, we will be playing a 20-minute running clock period that is now underway after that 2 5-minute power play practice sessions, and then a 5-minute 3v3 little section to round off the night. So it should be an exciting night. It's a good open practice to see what the Bobcats can do this year. And Samantha, we've got fans in the stands, very exciting stuff. We are so glad to be with you again. I am Jared Emsch, alongside me Samantha Garcia. Just like last year, and we're back like we never left. We had a little bit of a shortened season, but this year looking forward to a full season of ACHA hockey.
And even though we're at half capacity, just having the fans here now, it's already a world of a difference here, Jared.
It sure is. You can already feel a little bit more energy just from the crowd. And Samantha, when we were getting ready to start the broadcast tonight, just seeing fans pour into the front doors of Bird Arena. It was so much fun to see smiling faces of fans, and even behind the masks. But just fans who are excited and ready to see some more Bobcat hockey, the most storied and successful athletic program here at Ohio University. Well, we are already through 90 seconds of hockey tonight. We apologize tonight, folks. We've had a few technical difficulties. It is our first night of the season as well, just like the players down there on the ice.
But nothing we can't handle, right, Jared?
That's right. That's right. We always bounce back here at the Ohio Hockey Network. Tonight, we also want to let you know that the home team is in white, the away team in green. I know it's the same team, but that's how the teams are split up tonight. Typically, Ohio University wears those white jerseys at home. It's a little atypical of ACHA teams, but it's just a tradition around here in Athens, Ohio, that white means home.
And already off the bat, you see a lot of aggression on the ice. Even though they are teammates, they're playing like an opponent. And this upcoming weekend, we got John Carroll at home, Jared. So it'll be a different couple of guys on the ice here. But a lot of new young faces that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about, but we will have more time during the season to do so. But a lot of stuff for us to cover here in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a very exciting freshman class who just came in and is suiting up for the first time in Bobcats colors in competition. And we see Andrew Wells there dumping it into the zone. He was a huge point of interest of ours last season. We saw a couple just highlight reel goals last year from him, but maybe not as many as he would have liked, as many as his team would have liked. It was a COVID year, you know, weird for everybody, but in his freshman season, definitely showing that he had a lot of potential. And here he is into the zone. A great, great stop there as he entered by Donnie Tahan, another one of those freshmen that we're looking out for this year. In goal tonight for the White, we have Mark Segala, and he's another freshman. We're going to get to see what the new goaltenders have for us, and I believe, Samantha, we have 4 goaltenders on the roster this year. A lot for an ACHA team, but obviously defense wins championships.
That's always kind of been something, a staple for the Ohio hockey program. They always have a lot of depth. Even though they might rely on having a lot of strong guys on the ice at all times, having a strong defense and especially goalies that you can rely on that are all strong is amazing.
Andrew Saka now in to take the draw for the White. And he will win it for the time being. Spinning around is Jake Burke. His long pass just out of reach of his teammate. It's going to go down the other end. And icing is called off because of a nice show of hustle there from Trevor Whitkoff. We didn't see a lot from him last season. Maybe he's got some more playing time in store this year.
And just a very different group of guys on the ice, and we've seen Tyler Calais getting a couple more reps in so far. In the past 5 minutes, we've seen him on the ice twice for a few line changes. But again, I'm just excited to see what these guys have in store. As much as we're focusing on tonight's game and tonight's scrimmage, you got a whole season of hockey to go and start. And having Drew Magyar as one of the captains this year, I think is going to be really important for this hockey team. They need guys like that are great players on and off the ice. You see a lot of times maybe the captains aren't as involved off the ice, but Drew Magyar is one of the most vocal guys on the team. He knows how to keep a team hyped up even when they're down. So having him as a captain for another year is going to be great for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Samantha, and I think now is a good time to let the fans know that Drew Magyar, Singley comes in. A nice save there from the freshman, Segala. And that chance cut me off before I could inform the fans who are some of the key leaders of this team this year. As you mentioned, Drew Magyar, the senior, number 23 is a captain, along with Sam Turner, number 27. Both of those young men are going to be wearing green tonight, so look out for them. And then Scott Bagby, number 24, the defenseman, is going to be playing for the white team. He is an assistant this year, and along with him will be number 9, Ryan Higgins, another assistant. Higgins is out tonight. We do have a few players out tonight. Nick Urker, Alex Burnett, Ryan Higgins, Ryan Leonard, and Ryan Greco. A lot of Ryans there, or Aiden Greco, excuse me. I got caught up with how many Ryans I was saying at once. But, yeah, those guys are out tonight. Just have to make sure, if you're head coach Leo Maron, that your guys are all 100% for next week with the game that matters. Don't want any unnecessary injuries in practice.
And what a chance there from Phil Angerville. Another one of these freshmen, Jared, that we're going to be excited to see. He's from Canada, so he's traveled quite a ways to be here in Bird Arena here tonight. I got a chance to talk with Coach Leo Moreau, and he was saying how his freshman class is some of the most electric, him and his team. When they're going through recruiting, they look for the most talented guys. Of course, everyone wants that, but somehow Ohio knows how to pick them out.
Bagby with a great chance there, a nice save, and it's knocked out of play by Jackson Chilberg. And I'm excited to see him get some more reps this year. Obviously, we saw Max Karlenzig was the main netminder who the coaching staff went with last year. I think he'll probably be one of the top choices this year, but Chilberg, certainly an unsung hero, came in a few times last season, had 2 shutouts, so you can't really shake a stick at those results. And now here's Calais. His long pass goes into the stick of Scott Bagby. Turner with a good turnover, and his shot gloved. Goalie keeping play going. And as we mentioned, a running clock. There's only 11 and a half minutes left in this 20-minute period. A lot of physicality there, and a good interception by Spencer Shawn. His shot knocked down in front. And a long pass off the skate of Andrew Saka. And right now on the ice we have Andrew Saka and Tyler Calais, the shortest and tallest members of this Ohio hockey team. I'm excited to see what Calais can do this year. He's got the physicality. Last year he might have just been a little bit sloppy at times with his stick handling. Surely something that the coaching staff has been working on with him this year. And he could definitely be a threat. Felton with a little spinorama pass there. And now Magyar stood up on the edge by sophomore Blake Rossi. Whitkoff trying to get that interception, got it for the moment. And now it's Shipko down the edge. Shipko, another one of those young guns that the Bobcats will definitely be looking for some goals from. Hastings now. Hastings trying to get a deflection from Witkoff, couldn't quite get it. Good defense by Felton. A long shot goes wide into the corner. And the young Canadian, Angerville, getting his touch on that. Samantha, we don't get a lot of Canadians around here in Athens, Ohio. It's exciting to see this very promising young player. He's out of, I believe, Ontario.
I think we're talking Montreal, and I know people would hit us if they knew which one that we didn't know where he was from. But we're gonna have to look up and see the last time that Ohio University had a Canadian native on the team. I know that we have a couple guys that are trying to find their feet playing hockey over there in Canada, but for now on, we got one here for Bird Arena. And again, I think for both of these teams, even though they're on the same team, what's going to be important is this offense. We saw last year Ohio had a hard couple times finding the back of the net. They were putting the shots up, but they didn't have the speed, they didn't have the possess to really be able to finish. So I think this year that's definitely something that head coach Leo Moreau is working on. Yeah,
finishing was the buzzword last year. I think it's definitely going to be one of the keys this year. You're right, they had a lot of shots on goal. They almost always in every game outshot their opponent, but yet they came away with only a few wins, a handful of wins, and that's because just because you're getting the puck on net, that's half the battle. It certainly is, but you got to make sure that those are well-taken shots and accurate shots. Now Felton into the zone for the green. Down that left side, trying to find somebody in the middle, does for a moment. Puck trickled through the crease, nobody there to poke it home, and great defense by Hastings. Now a bouncing puck goes all the way back into the green defensive zone. Felton battling with Witkoff, and the pocket is picked by Saka, just couldn't quite get that rollover. And back the other way is Drew Magyar. Magyar into the middle to Schmizzy. Schmizzy cuts back, a great shot is saved, and the White being bailed out tonight so far by Mark Segala. 8 minutes remaining in this 20-minute period.
Zach Curry finally making an appearance for the Bobcats on the ice here tonight. A great defensive player that we saw all last year, and actually the past couple years. He'll be a senior this year for the Bobcats, and his impression has definitely not faded. And as we say that, a shuffle in front of the box, but the teamwork between JT Schmizzy, Drew Magyar, and Colin Felton, I really like that trio. They're really being able to put passes together. Even though this is a practice game, we can already see the chemistry from up here.
Absolutely. And I love White's defense there, even though the puck was bouncing in the middle and the goaltender didn't really know where it was. Oh, and as I say that, what a laser by Donnie Tahan. Just sent it low, glove side, right into the back of the net.
You see it here again, just a very awkward angle, brings his stick all the way around, finds the opposite post and puts that one in. Green up top, 1, White 0 here with 7 minutes to go. Jared, I was not going to call that one a goal at all. It just looked like there was no absolute way that could have found the back of the net.
No, we were just chatting about how this team might be shaping up this year, and I honestly thought we were good to go because there was no chance from that angle for a goal. Donnie Tahan proving me wrong, as the players often do down there on the ice. Very impressive shot. And that was only the 6th shot on goal for Green tonight. Finding the back of the net in style. Just under 7 to play, as Bagby finally finds the puck outside of that scrum. And moving up the ice is Nick Coretta. Long shot, just wide, and now Bagby's shot is deflected at the point. Shipko, a good shot just right into the chest of Jackson Chilberg. And we're gonna have a face-off and a line change on the offensive side for both teams.
I like already how both sides of the defense are taking shots. They're not afraid when they're in that offensive zone to take a rip at it. Usually a lot of times defensive men would try and dish it off or be the assister, but now they're trying to find points and get themselves a couple goals.
Yeah, a few years ago, Ohio had some of the most talented ACHA players in terms of shooting we've ever seen, as Magyar comes in and just shoots wide. Good defense to close him off. But since the graduation of players like Tyler Harkins and Gianni Evangelisti, Ohio has really tried to be one of those teams who shoots from the point and then finds the rebound and pokes it in. Now we've got a 2-on-1 situation. A quick shot here is just tipped away. That was Phil Angerville. A nice look from the Canadian. Now Felton tries to get it back into the zone, but as I was saying a moment ago, Ohio really just tries to get those shots from the point. They have some defenders who are strangely accurate with their slap shots for this level of play, and then they trust the crashing ability from their forwards to poke it home. So be looking for that offensive style. We've already seen it quite a bit tonight. 5 minutes remaining in this period.
And a lot of line changes for both teams. Obviously, it's a smart play to keep the legs fresh on, but good to see a variety of guys on the ice tonight.
Absolutely. Now Roach's pass intercepted by Singley. Comes in slowly, dumps the puck into the zone, and he's going to get a line change from his side. Now spinning around is Jack Mueller, another one of the freshmen. We're seeing a lot of the freshmen play right now, and Leo Maron not worried about putting a lot of freshmen in with returners. He's not splitting those up, and that shows you just how good these freshmen are, that they can compete with some of the upper class players. Now a bouncing puck finds its way into the stick of the green and white, or the green players, excuse me.
You're already getting confused, Jared. It's day one.
It is. Hey,
we don't got time for that.
We got to take a little bit of time to get back in the swing of things, right? Now back up to the point. A long shot from Jake Burke. Nice bounce, and White poking, trying to find it. Chilbert covering it up. Great multi-save sequence there by I believe he's a senior this year, Jackson Chilbert. This is his 5th year.
He's been here a while. We will tell him that. He traded a lot of time. For the past 2 years, we saw he was kind of under the shadow of Jimmy Thomas, one of the best goalies here for Ohio hockey. And now he's finally getting his time, and the Ohio coaching staff definitely sees that now.
Yeah, he's one of those goalies who's kind of a diamond in the rough in the ACHA. He could be a starter at most other programs, but Ohio just consistently finds some of the best goalkeeper talent in the entire country. Now battling on the boards is Calais, trying to use every inch of that 6'5" frame. You heard that correctly, folks. He is a big boy. Now Wells cannot quite find the puck underneath his skates, and it goes the other way with Calais. Calais trying to find Magyar. He does off the boards. Magyar takes a little hit there from Rossi. And it's going to be his turn to bring it up the left side. Nice little hit from Turner, and you can see the guys are playing physical, as you mentioned earlier, Samantha, but being careful not to injure their own teammates. That would be about the worst thing that could happen tonight, is to see a serious injury in a practice before week 1. Now Felton, it's now Turner. Turner looking to cross it, and Coretta just couldn't quite get his stick to it. Singley, by the time he had a chance to shoot, the window had closed. A little floater in underneath, and White deal with that one very easily. It's McLaughlin on the boards. Now kicking the puck free is Singley.
You know, if hockey doesn't work out for him, he could try out for the men's soccer team. That was a nice little chip there.
It sure was. Now McLaughlin trying to find that puck and the man. It's a difficult thing to do at the same time. You can see he looked a little bit confused there. He is a freshman. This is the beginning of the season. That's some of the stuff that you might expect to see from young guys early in the season. But this Ohio team already just looking very mature for their age. Chilberg corrals it underneath, pokes it to Felton, and we've only got 1 minute left. Now it's JT Schmizzy, one of my favorite players, but turning it over to Saka. One-on-one situation, and what a save by Chilberg. Angerville couldn't quite poke it home on the back door. Saka with a phenomenal show of awareness to poke it to a teammate, but Jackson Chilberg going down into the splits.
That's one of Saka's biggest strengths, is right off the bench. He is able to find his stick into the puck and push it away. A couple times last year and even the year before, we saw him even score within the first minute of him being on the ice, just the way that he's able to sneak attack. He's definitely a big contribution to this Ohio team.
He sure is. And we mentioned that he's the shortest player on this team, and he knows how to use that size to his advantage. Just like that, he almost gets lost in transition and then is able to steal the puck away and have a breakaway opportunity. Well, that concludes the 20-minute period. We're going to hop off the ice here for a moment and get ready for 2 5-minute power play practices.
And, you know, I think that'll be important, not only to get, you know, they got their feet wet. They're not going to be nervous anymore if we're going to be having any kind of games coming up. All the nerves are shaken loose, but when you're put into those super intense games, maybe against John Carroll, or a time when it's going to come down to playing every moment, right? That's something that this program has always talked about. The coaching staff always says, in those moments where we're down and we need to be composed, we always know how to do it right. And I think that's one of the most important things for Ohio that they've done so far this season. And I think the change for the head coach is going to be something really important that, Jared, we're going to be able to take a look at here. And just to be back in Bird Arena, it just feels so nice. Usually we're up here freezing, but I'm a little hot up here. I will not complain.
I would agree. It is warm here for an ice rink. You don't see that every day. But I think it might have something to do with all the fans that you've been seeing in the back of the camera shots. And as mentioned earlier, we are allowed to have 50% capacity in terms of fans here in Bird Arena so far this year. Hopefully, as the season progresses, we will have more and more fans allowed. Ohio University recently did just require vaccines for all students, and that's allowing things to start opening back up, so we shall see. But any fans we are glad to have back after last season. It was strange to play in front of cardboard cutouts, and I heard some of the guys this week when we were talking to them during media day say that they really didn't like it. It was a weird feeling just having a few cardboard fans and the rest of the arena just being quiet and empty. So having fans, even though it's just a scrimmage tonight, is gotta feel good.
Also to have our MC in the house doing some fun stuff here. It's what you want. You want to have it get back to normal, and it may not be normal, but the new normal is something that people are adjusting to. We got to make sure everyone's getting the vaccine, staying healthy, being happy. I try to combine those two words, but let's talk about this schedule for a second. I know we still got a long way to go, but October, we got 10 home games in a row, Jared. Back-to-back weekends. We got a couple weekday games. So I think for Bird Arena, this ice is definitely going to be worn down a bit. And for this hockey team, it's going to be good to be here as much as we can. I found last year they only had only a handful of home games. So maybe this year, only being at 50% capacity, they can still do something fun with it.
Yeah, it's going to be grind, Samantha, like you mentioned. Through October, every single weekend is home series here in Bird Arena, and like you also mentioned, a few midweek games to add on to all of that. So that's a hefty stretch in a row. So Ohio is going to really have to deal with playing so many games at once, and I think that COVID year really helped with that. They played an average of every 3 to 4 days last season during that shortened season, really just trying to pack in as many games as they possibly could. So that really helped, and you could tell that after 2-3 weeks of playing at that pace, the guys did start to play a little bit. They did start to play a little bit,
How you liking your job tonight?
more tired, but
Dude,
they quickly learned to build their stamina and to have
or whatever the hell it is when nobody's shooting tonight.
a lot of games back to back to back. So this year it might really help with that. I believe that we're going to have the Zamboni come out, cut the ice, get everything nice and fresh before these power play drills. And I'm excited to see what the power play will look like for OU this year. Special teams, obviously a huge, huge part of ACHA hockey. And OU typically really, really good on the power play. Last year, they were either very on, or very off. They had a few nights where they went 0-6. They had nights when they went 4 for 7. So really getting that consistency is going to be key, but it's going to be interesting to see how Ohio's power play is really going to look.
And as much as we talk about how much we love the fans being here, we got to thank some of the people that have been such a great help here for us at the Ohio Hockey Network. A couple of the families here. We're not going to read them all off, but just know that we are still thinking about you after all that you guys have done for us. It is really important for us to have you guys tuning in and helping us. I know sometimes my voice may be too loud and all that fun stuff, but it's all fun and games, right? We're still students, so we're learning.
That's it. We're learning just along with the players down on the ice. Samantha, I gotta say, your voice sounds the right volume in my headset.
Yeah, okay. I think you're hyping me up a little bit.
I don't know how much we can trust these headsets,
But something else I wanted to talk about for another positive for this upcoming season is we're finally going to get a variety of teams. Last year, we only faced about 3 of the same teams. Obviously, because of COVID restrictions, the absolute broken record that has not stopped playing for the past 2 years. Ohio was stuck playing the same 3 teams, and not just any basic teams, some of the best, not only college hockey teams in the ACHA, but I would say in the whole country. Adrian, who we faced many, many times, went on to win way too many games. I think they
won the title.
Yeah, they did. Thank you. I didn't want to say that without completely backing it up, but I was pretty sure that happened. And yes, you do get the experience of playing some of these tough teams, but after a while, it feels good to have a W scribbled into the book, Jared. And I think this year, not only do you have new talent, returning talent, a head coach that has a new face that he's got to look after, a new team to take care of, why not mix it up and play some of these fun teams? I know a big game that I think is going to be a good one, Jarrett, for you and I especially, is University of Illinois. We faced them the past 3 years. Every time you and I have done this together, those games are always really fun, and we get a home game with them, and then we're going to go off to Urbana-Champaign and play there too. Honestly, we might have to make a drive up to one of these games and commentate. I know someone's probably shaking their head like, Sam, please don't get back on the headset. But we might need to do that.
Yeah, we've definitely got an exciting schedule. And Samantha, you're 100% right. Last season, Ohio played 4 different opponents until their final game. They played one that didn't really count. It was kind of a practice. So, in essence, they played 4 teams. And you know the rankings of those 4 teams?
Let me hear it.
In the country, in the ACHA, ranked 1, 2, 3, and 4. And guess who was number 5? It was Ohio. So it was essentially like a 5-team round robin season for the title. So Ohio was able to compete with teams like that. Obviously, they did it last year, and they did go fairly deep into the tournament. But I mean, imagine if you're an Ohio State fan, every week playing Alabama and then Georgia.
LSU.
And then LSU and then Clemson. It's a taxing season.
Yep.
There's a reason that teams don't typically schedule only the best teams for their whole year. It's because it's not a sustainable pace. So obviously it had to be done last year in Ohio. Ohio made it happen, but this year it's nice to play a more balanced schedule. We mentioned that week 1 next week is against John Carroll, a team that Ohio historically has beat very easily, very consistently toward the beginning of most seasons, and it's not uncommon to see the goal totals get into the double digits in that series, but it's good to see Ohio play teams like that. And I mean, not just because you want a pushover win. That's not, desirable by the coaching staff and the players. You don't just want to beat up on teams, but just so that they can kind of warm up and play a team that they know that they can beat and start the season off on the right foot.
It's also a confidence booster.
Exactly.
No matter if you say, you played a great game, but maybe you guys took the loss. We say that a lot here on the stream when we do see Ohio come out and play some really good hockey, but not be able to get the W on the scoreboard. But truthfully, getting a win does feel good no matter what you're doing, but especially in such a tough sport like this. So, again, just mentioning for the last time this schedule, it's going to be a fun year, Jared, and hopefully we get to do some more fun, cool stuff. Make sure you guys are checking out all of our socials, not only the Ohio Hockey Network on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube now, but also the Bobcat Hockey Twitter handle, too. They're always putting out good content. And, Jared, I think this year we're going to continue doing Between the Boards, a little segment that you and Tyler Cole, who is now an alumni of this club here, you guys kind of started. Do you want to just run through that real quick? Give me a little spiel about it.
Absolutely, yeah. Between the Boards is definitely going to happen again this year, and that'll be it's still kind of up in the air if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but one of the two. So make sure to watch out on, like Samantha mentioned, at Ohio Bobcats Hockey on Twitter and Instagram. The team will be posting that content just like the Ohio Hockey Network will, and that's, again, at Ohio Hockey Network on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of that good stuff. And, those are going to be either weekly or bi-weekly episodes that are, 5 to 10 minutes that just kind of recap what happened in the previous weekends and how the season's going, kind of telling the story of the season. So make sure to look out for that content. That'll help keep you updated with everything that's going on with Ohio hockey here in Bird Arena and across the country, wherever we may go this season to play. So
it'll be fun. I'm excited, and I know the word excited, if we did a count on the stream, we probably have already said it 25 times.
Absolutely.
But I feel like that's one of the only ways to describe this feeling. It's finally starting up. The team is looking good. Coach is settling into his position. You and I are starting to dress up. We're looking nice today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is going to be a good year. And, we still got 6 minutes left on the clock before these guys come out. But, I don't know, we have so much to talk about. We could talk about the summer, this upcoming year. I know the boys are not allowed to do any kind of team practice during the summer. I know that obviously they're doing their own individual workouts and still staying active. But, Jared, you do anything fun this summer?
I did. I got to work for the Columbus Clippers, as I have in the past, do some work for them. And, I'm a baseball guy as well as a hockey guy. Hockey has my heart. It does. But baseball is one of my passions as well. So got to watch a lot of good AAA baseball this summer.
That's good.
Samantha, how is the weather in Chicago?
Windy. I know.
Windy.
That's it, man. I mean, it takes me 8.5 hours to get here, but I don't really like leaving here. It's so small, and I don't know. It's just a weird feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This place it's different. It's not like Chicago, where my Blackhawks are just continuously going downhill. We got a couple good trades in the past couple months, but nothing I'm too excited about. I think after that 20, I can't even talk about the 20, after we won the Stanley Cup in, what was that, 2014, 2015, one of those years.
Yeah.
We just sunk the ship. We just completely threw it underwater. I mean, I don't know. I now, since I'm now a resident in Ohio, I got to cheer on the Blue Jackets.
Have to.
They're kind of a fun team, I will not lie. Their first year, and then they made it to the Stanley Cup. I mean, not to the Stanley Cup, but at least playoffs, man, that was fun.
It was. And as somebody who grew up in Columbus, I was born in 2000, the same year as the inaugural season, so I've always felt a close connection to the team. And yeah, growing up, going to those games, and my dad and I would spend $10 on a ticket.
Wow.
Because we were that bad. Nobody even wanted to pay any money to go, so we'd show up on game night, pay $10, sit in the cheap seats, and watch our team get beat down by whoever was in town that night. So to go from that, growing up, going to so many games and just going home sad after every single one, it's so nice to see my team, you know, actually doing some stuff. Last season wasn't great, but I always, as an Ohio sports fan, I have to have, you know, almost a childlike sense of excitement going into every season, because
How do you think
it could be. It could be.
How do you think we're so excited up here and we got way too much energy all the time?
That's true. And I think this season, especially across all sports, is just so exciting because obviously last year we didn't really get a season. The season before that got cut short. So it's our first full season in 3 years of everything. So it's very, very exciting. And I know you mentioned a moment ago that we've said that word way too many times, but I think we have the right to. We're back. We're back in business.
And again, just the players that you might not see out on the ice because they're out, not specifically with injury, but just out is, again, Nick Urker, Alex Burnett, Ryan Higgins, Ryan Leonard, and Aiden Greco. They will not be seeing the ice, but they'll be seeing the bench, as you might see them in their suits, sitting across. Just
I saw somebody down there, if my eyes did not deceive me, in a suit and a Stetson.
What's a Stetson?
A cowboy hat.
Why couldn't you just say cowboy hat?
Why do you have Stetson is the specific
Why are you
type.
try and show me up here on a broadcast?
Hey,
I thought
Stetson. My apologies. I thought Stetson was pretty well known across the board.
To who? Who knows the word Stetson?
Hey, if you're watching this right now, go down in the comments and comment below if you know what a Stetson is or not.
No, if you're under the age of 21, comment and tell me if you know what a Stetson is, okay?
Stetson.
Stetson?
Stetson. Stetson. It was a guy. He made the first cowboy hat.
Oh.
They're like really nice, expensive ones.
Oh.
I saw one at a thrift store one time. It was in real nice condition. It was this crappy little thrift store. And it had the hat box and everything.
Did you get it?
No, because even at a crappy thrift store where every shirt was like $2, this Stetson was on sale for $500.
Jeez.
I know, crazy. They're expensive. They're very, very expensive.
Should we wear one on the stream?
I think we should. I think we should get some Stetsons and wear them on the stream.
What about like a 10-gallon hat?
Absolutely.
I don't know if
We're going to rename Bird Arena the Dimmadome.
I don't know if the boys would be more embarrassed than they already are, because all we do is scream and cheer for them.
I'm going to make sure if I get a Stetson, I'm going to wear it around in public.
I will not know you.
So, and then every person that I know, I'm going to make it a really big deal, public display that I know them, that they know somebody who wears a cowboy hat in public. And if you wear a cowboy hat in public and you're watching this, I want to be your friend. You're probably a legend.
You got to stop with that. And thank God the guys finally skated back onto the ice, as we're going to be underway here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, finally we can talk about hockey again.
5 minutes of power play action. So one team will have a man down, or two. We don't know the complete setup yet. So if you're out watching and you're counting, wait, there's only 4 guys on the ice. It's a power play again. A smart decision from Leo Moreau and his coaching staff to kind of set this up before the game, so the first time that they're seeing this isn't going to be real game time against John Carroll or even further down the line. This is maybe one of the first times during the green and white game that we've had a variety of things. Usually it might just be something quick, but the way that it's stretched out in almost the same amount of time as a real game, it makes it different.
Yeah, and I really like the setup of this because the point of the green and white game has always been to have, you know, a competitive practice, an open practice, if you will. And adding different styles of play throughout really gives the players a lot more preparation than if they just played a regular game.
And now for the goalies, there's two veteran Ohio hockey. In white is Matt Server, and in green is Max Karlenzik, a great guy that we've seen for this team, but two veterans. And now it looks like maybe what could be the possible 1 and 2 strings for the starting season are on the ice now as we're underway.
Yeah, and white are going to be a man down. So a green power play to start. They're up 1-0 on the night. We're going to keep that score going for you guys, make it a little bit competitive. And you mentioned Max Karlenzik, who's in green tonight. And he's one of my favorite players on this squad. He's so talented. We saw him. Oh, a great shot there by Magyar. Lifted a little bit too much, maybe leaning back a bit. And here he is across. We'll get back to Karlenzik in a moment, but what a shot by Schmizzy. Took it one time, top cheddar, and it's 2-0 to the away team in green. Wow, what a laser.
It looked like it was a bar down snipe there from the point. He was able, didn't look like a drag, but brought it to his right side and just completely obliterated that top bar. Nice way to start a power play. And, you know, last year, I think right at the end of the season, they were 10 for 32 or some crazy number like that on power plays. And JT Schmizzy finally putting some confidence into this power play team, as now green is up 2, white still sitting at 0.
Yeah, and he scored that only 54 seconds into the power play, even before the halfway point in a typical power play. So that has got to instill a little bit of confidence in the guys there. Now Calais in trying to find somebody on the back door. Not quite close enough was Peyton Bowditch. And underneath Felton's skates, that one goes. You could see the displeasure on his face as he watched that one fly all the way back to his goalie. Now into the zone is green. Calais trying to stay a little bit behind, use that frame, and he scoops up the puck up top to Felton. Now back over to Calais. Pass a little bit errant from Spencer Shawns. Now Shipko into the corner, short-handed, fighting off Shawns. Doesn't really get any help, but now Felton pushing with his team, and they're going to circle around, get things set up on the green side. Felton with a lot of pressure there from Shipko. Pass a little bit too far for Magyar. And now around JT Schmizzy. Schmizzy finding Roach at the point. Roach, a little backhanded pass. Nice stick movement there, but a good save. And we're going to have a face-off coming up with 2:23 left in the period. This is again a running clock.
Again, I'm not over that shot from JT. A little quiet last year in the books for points. He had some amazing plays. We already know his talent. You don't even need to be a Bobcat fan to know JT's talent on the ice. But maybe this year he gets a little bit more confidence and you might see him shoot lights out.
Yeah, Schmizzy and Wells were those two players for me who kind of underperformed, in my opinion, last year. Not saying they performed badly, but they just have so much potential to be two of the best players that Ohio has ever seen. As Karlenzik takes a little spill there, but making sure to keep his body in front of the net. And we do have some slippery ice out there, folks. That is one of the key components of ice, if you're not familiar. Rossi now into the zone. But Schmizzy and Wells, I think that those two are going to be two of the best goal scorers that Ohio's seen in a long time. They just really need a breakout year, sophomore year. This might be the time to do it.
And Jared, you're right. This puck is just moving really, really, really fast. And when you're making these long plays like this, where you're shooting this puck down the line, I mean, it's just not consistent enough. And again, this could be an advantage for Ohio when they play at home because they're used to this, but might be some trouble for when any opponents come in here.
Yeah, Bird Arena typically has to figure out their ice issues early in the season. As we mentioned, Samantha, it's a bit warm in here, which you would not typically expect, which is causing the ice to slightly melt. You can see little puddles here and there on the ice, and you're right, the puck is skipping across the surface very quickly. A long shot there from the point from Schoens, and a good glove save by Matt Server. Another great glove save as he goes down in the splits. And just like we were talking about the confidence that that power play goal instilled on the green side, this impressive defensive performance from White is got to be raising the confidence level on theirs. And that brings us to the end of the first 5-minute period. So now we are going to switch sides. White is going to be on the power play. Green a man down. So we'll see how Max Karlenzig can deal with the threat of being a man down for 5 minutes.
Calais getting a lot more reps. I know I already said that in that first full play game action, but I'm not sure. He wasn't battling injury last year that we know of, but maybe Leo sees some more than we might not see in practice, and I think he's proved well so far here as now Ohio lines up a more aggressive offense. Obviously, on the power play, they're going to play defensively, but out there, Phil Angerville alongside Saka. He's got Trevor Witkoff, who we saw a couple times this year, and Ryan Hastings. A very, very, very aggressive, offensively pushing group. I'm excited to see what they can do here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Angerville and Saka can do together because we saw them have a few chances during that 20-minute period. Obviously didn't slot anything home, but might they do it on the power play? And here it is to Angerville. The pass a little too hot to handle. He had a lane just for a moment. Now the puck back up to him, and a bad pass bounces off the wall. And again, you can see whenever the puck is goes along the ice, you can see a little bit of water spray up. This pass intercepted by Wells. Good job to keep it in by Hastings. Now Hastings cuts back on that blue line, looking for a pass. Finds Angerville. Angerville a shot. It's intercepted in the middle. Curry just couldn't find it on that rebound. Good double save by Karlenzig. Now Saka into the zone. Saka just kind of falls backwards and loses the puck. White's going to have to set back up. And it has been a minute and 15 seconds of this White power play. Coming up the zone is Jake Burke. Now it's Witkoff trying to find it underneath. Couldn't quite get to Shipko. It goes to McLaughlin, and now Shipko. In the corner. Couple players battling for that puck along the boards. It finally comes out in favor of Green, and we've got a shorthanded opportunity for Drew Magyar. Great defense by Rossi to shove him into the boards and eliminate the threat. Now Rossi trying to push into the zone quickly. Rossi cutting back to his right, dropping, and Witkoff just didn't quite expect it. A long shot off of the leg of Donnie Tahan. He's down. Great job to sacrifice the body, but what a sacrifice it was. He is in a lot of pain down there, folks. His bench giving him a hero's welcome. Hopefully he's all right.
And that's the loudest we've heard Bird here so far tonight. And, you know, I kind of threw my hands up like, why did you do that? But then I remember that they're playing like this is a game. You want guys that kind of put their body on the line. I know his family's probably watching this saying, you probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But in a situation like this, as a coach, that's what you want to see from guys, and that's what's going to make you stand out. So, you know, it's a win-lose situation there from him. He gets hurt, but maybe he catches the eye of a coach.
Yeah, cover your eyes, Mrs. Tahan. You don't want to see your son in that much pain, but a great effort, and it's looking like he's doing okay over there on the bench. Just a little shaken up from the initial slap shot he just took to the shin. But that is the physicality you want to see if you're head coach Leo Moran. Into the middle, Curry shoots, lift that one way too much. Now Wells underneath, just taking abuse from Turner, who clears it away. And what a special defender he is. Just over 2 minutes left.
The shots are tied 11 for each on the green and white team.
Donnie over there on the bench has got his helmet off, but he's laughing with the trainers, so it looks like he's going to be all right. White trying to set something up now in their own zone. And here's Angerville with one hand on his stick. He was dangling his defender off the edge a little bit. Now Shipko, a bad angle shot, but a very nice shot. Shipko trying to find somebody in the middle. Now it pops out. A good shot from John McLaughlin.
An even better save there from Karlenzik. Just a beautiful glove save there. The reaction time on that guy is tremendously insane.
And now up top to Angerville, shoots just outside, and Karlenzik was moving the opposite direction. Angerville surely is going to lose sleep over that shot. He was inches away from that post, Samantha, and I don't think Karlenzik even saw it.
He probably didn't. And just his body, it's his instinct to just put his hand out. And as Phillip dances in his offensive zone, 35 seconds it reads on the clock of the second power play.
Wells trying to find somebody in the middle, and Angerville does get his goal. A tap home after the rebound, and that's got to feel good for the Canadian international.
Sooner or later, he was going to find the back of the net. The shot there, just absolutely tremendous there from him to find that angle again.
Yeah, and I feel like Angerville was destined to score tonight. He's looked really, really good. And I got to talk to him a little bit this week. I made the joke asking him when he started playing hockey. I said, don't Canadians, aren't they born wearing ice skates?
Yeah,
and he laughed and said, we pretty much are. He said he started skating when he was only 3 years old.
Wow. So it looks like they're actually going to say Jack Mueller was the one that tapped it in, but Phil with the amazing setup, and he almost had number 2 of the night.
A great spinning shot for Jack Mueller, and you're right, that is the second one in quick succession. It all started, though, with that Angerville shot as he was falling down. And Karlenzik, I don't think, really expected it, and then a nice 5-hole tap in on the rebound.
Wow, just in 30 seconds, this white team has become electric. They've tied this one up 2-2. 4 seconds left to go, and you know what? I'm not going to say this game's over. Who knows what White has got left in the tank. 2 power play goals in 2 minutes for White, 1 for Green. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's very good power play performance. I'm honestly, though, surprised to see Karlenzik give up 2 goals that quickly. But power plays are very difficult to defend, and White was white hot.
But, you know, when you got guys like Mueller that can take shots like that and be so accurate, You could have the best goalie out there. It might be hard. You could even have Corey Crawford in the goal, and he might not be able to stop that one. What's the next segment we got going on?
The next one is going to be 5 minutes of 3v3, and I don't believe we're going to take any breaks. They're just going straight at it. And this is going to kind of mimic an overtime situation. Obviously, if there's a goal, we're not going to stop everything. We're going to keep it going. But with the fairly new in the last couple of years, overtime rules in the ACHA, they kind of mimic the NHL overtime rules where it's 3v3. Looks like it's going to be Magyar, Schmizzy, and Turner for green. Saka, Wells, and I believe Bagby for white.
Arguably the most aggressive 6 on this team.
I would agree.
That might be a hot take, but
I don't think it's a hot take. I would consider these the 6 best players on this team, and I'm excited what they can do against each other. Turner, a nice cutback. Now finding Schmizzy with a long lane, but just out of his reach. Server with a nice little clearance. Now across the way to Schmizzy, and he's dangerous from that sort of angle. We saw that earlier tonight. Magyar now into Schmizzy, a one-timer, didn't get a hold of that, hit it a little bit low on his stick. And this one is cleared back. Pass a little bit out of Magyar's reach. Look at the aggressiveness of Saka. I just love to watch him play. Now Turner. And a few new white shirts come out onto the ice. Now into the zone, it's Turner. He's going to go all the way. Shoots, and a great stop by Hastings. Knocked his stick loose, but did stop the puck in the middle. And a great chase down by White. Now it's McLaughlin up to Shipko. Shipko trying to find Hastings inside. Couldn't quite get there. Good poke check by Turner. And McLaughlin up by the blue line on that right side. Underneath. Now to Turner. Or excuse me, Hastings. I always confuse Hastings and Turner.
well, don't, because they're very different, Jared. Come on.
My apologies.
I forgive
great
you.
shot by Shipko. They play a very similar style of defense, I think. They're both kind of an offensive-minded defenseman.
Good job, John.
Now it's Felton. Felton spinning back around, trying to find Coretta for the moment. Couldn't quite get him.
But you know what that we missed out, that you're going to be upset? Blake Rossi wasn't in that starting line for that 3v3, and I would put him up there too. That guy
That's true.
The way that he can command a puck and transition from defense to offense, I mean, here he goes again doing exactly what I said.
And a tape pass to Witkoff. Witkoff looking for some help there, facing abuse on the edge. Now it's Zach Curry into the middle, and a weird bounce. Kurlenzig, a great kick save with the right blocker pad. Now it's Felton. Felton spinning around, trying to find Shipko into the middle. Nothing. That's the defense of Rossi. Another great shot, but stopped by server this time. Now it's White with numbers. It's Curry into the zone. He's got Witkoff, a 2-on-1. Witkoff trying the one-timer bouncing puck. Does not allow him to do so. Now Curry stuck as Roach pulls away with the puck, and a nice steal by the freshman. A long shot by Burke, just out of line. Good shot there by Angerville. And look at the aggressiveness, how he attacks the crease. Now it's Roach. Roach takes a big hit into the boards. And now it's Angerville. A 1-on-2 situation. Angerville looking for help. It looks like he's going to shoot. He does, just outside that corner. And it looks like his shots are going a little bit right of where he's aiming them tonight. A great backside shot there, and that one, again, a little bit too far right. He needs to make that adjustment wherever he's aiming, aim a little bit more left. Now Saka with a good steal. Saka. Good poke check away by Tahan. And Tahan obviously not in too much pain. He's playing again. Those legs looking like they're operating correctly. To Hand, cutting back around the zone. Backhanded pass, trying to start the cycle. Takes a little hit from Saka, a little how you doing. To Hand, a long shot. This one goes all the way around the boards. And Magyar, the first one there. We've got 45 seconds left in the 5-on-5. Magyar, long pass ahead by Turner. He was just offside. Oh, ref, we need another look at that one. I'm not so sure. I thought he dragged the toe. But the referee is the one getting paid to make those calls, and he did.
And you see on the bench for Green, it was Ryan Higgins and Alex Burnett acting like coaches. They were grabbing the players, pretending like they were super upset by the call, and some of those green jerseys just laughing at them. It's fun that they can have good time on and off the ice.
Right. Schmizzy in, trying to find Magyar, trying to find that winner. A backhanded shot just too high, and now White's got a couple seconds. Needs to shoot, but the puck falls off his stick, and McLaughlin not able to find the hat trick. And that will bring us to the end of the 3-on-3 period.
And it looks like, Jared, we have a special little extra time as that might go into shootouts just because of the score. Coaching staff says, hey, why not? We might get in this situation, so.
And players love shootouts, so it's good for coaches. That's honestly a great incentive for players to have, kind of a good little reward for them. And it still builds the team, and it's good practice. But who doesn't like a one-on-one situation with a goalie? I'll tell you who. It's the goalie. The goalie doesn't like that.
If it's Max Karlenzik in goal, I think I'll pass.
I agree. I don't like my odds.
If I had a score, if someone said if you score against Max Karlenzik, you get $1 million. But if you don't, you go to jail for 6 months. I don't think I would take my odds.
I wouldn't either. I would not take that bet. Magyar would, though. He's coming in on server. 5-hole. Yes, sir. And look at the Selly silencing his teammates on the other side of the ice. They're having fun out here, folks. It's good to see them in their element, you know, playing their hardest, but also just having a good time. Just being some kids out there, skating around. Now Wells. Wells in on Karlenzik. He shoots quickly, tries to do exactly what Magyar did, and a great stop by Karlenzik.
Nothing fancy on that one, just trying to go for the same little shot in between the pads, but again, Karlenzik just
read it like a book. Now it's Turner. Turner on that right side. He's going to come in and go for the backhander, flips it in, and it's 2-0 Green. They're feeling good out here, folks. Can Andrew Saka keep this one going?
And that was pretty, man.
He
took that from his right side, dragged it across his body, onto the left with the backhand.
And the patience was really great. Now Saka in on his left side. Saka steps back, and Karlenzik stonewalls him. The Green jump onto the ice and congratulate their goalie. They fall down to the ice. And a fun night here in Bird Arena. You can see Schmizzy high-fiving a few of those fans through the glass. And folks, we had an absolute blast with you tonight. And we hope that you had just as fun of a time as we did. And I'm sure these fans in the stands are glad that they got to be here and experience Ohio hockey live again as years ago.
Jared, we talked about this season might be something different for this Ohio team, and they've kind of proved it here tonight, coming out and playing really good hockey, not even just on the ice, but against each other. I think is going to be really important, and I think that's all I got to say about this.
Yeah, we had a very fun time. You know, I saw a lot of things that I really liked from the Bobcats that I think that they're going to take into next week's games against John Carroll and put together two very convincing wins. I loved the power play by the Bobcats. They looked like they were attacking the crease, and it looked like they had more of a hunger for goals than they did last season. We've talked about finishing. They figured out how to do it tonight. We didn't play a lot of hockey, a total of 35 minutes, which is just over half of a regular game, and we saw 4 goals. I think the defense still played great. There were just some phenomenal goals tonight, and that's exciting to see if you're a Bobcats fan.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jared.
Well, we are going to be signing off. We'll see you right here next week on the Ohio Hockey Network. 2 games, Friday and Saturday night. Puck drop for both is at 7 p.m. in O'Science Bird Arena. Come back, watch your Bobcats, cheer them on. And for Samantha Garcia, I am Jared Emsch. And for the rest of our crew, we're saying good night, and thanks for joining us.